This morning, Hawaiian officials say they're determined to make sure that the false alarm that sent the entire state into panic never happens again.
Just after 8 a.m. in Hawaii, pandemonium in paradise.
There is only a 20-minute span between the time a missile would be launched from North Korea to the time it would make it here and make impact here in Hawaii.
Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter.
An accidental alert went out across Hawaii, urging people to take shelter due to an incoming ballistic missile.
Across social media as well, people talking about their last conversation they thought they were having with their family member.
And for 38 minutes yesterday, people feared that there was a missile flying through the air and about to hit Hawaii.
Cell phone signals here were absolutely overloaded as people called their loved ones to say goodbye.
The test is an actual emergency siren.
The U.S. Pacific Command has detected a missile threat to Hawaii.
Today is a day that most of us will never forget.
This is not a drill. This is not a drill.
This is not a drill.
This is not a drill.
"73 years ago, on August 6, 1945, Hiroshima was attacked with a 15-kiloton nuclear warhead. This nuke exploded 1,000 feet above the ground. Before exploding, a switch was turned on. Uranium bullet was shot into a uranium chamber. After doing so, solid matter of uranium started to split in two, causing a major nuclear chain reaction. This was only a 15-kiloton nuke. The standard nuclear bombs used today can range from 120 to 150 kilotons, going up to 10 times bigger than the Hiroshima bomb. Realizing that this could have been Hawaii, I decided to interview a few people on the morning of the false alarm.
When the alarm went off, I was preparing breakfast, and I was in my house. I just woke up, and it seemed like everything was going pretty normal on that day.
I was sitting on my table, or not on the table, but at the table with my grandma, talking about Senior Luau.
Why are you laughing?
What's wrong with it? I was laughing at that time too.
I was in my bed, asleep, when I heard multiple alarms going off on my family's phones.
I was at home and I was just getting up, so yeah.
Well, at first I was like panicking, but I was like, if this is how I'm gonna die, this is how I'm gonna die. I can't do nothing about it. So then I was just like, what can you do? That's tough.
After seeing the alarm, I first heard it on my phone, but when I first saw it, I was, one, confused about how it just happened all of a sudden. And then afterwards, I was pretty much like, well, I have nowhere to go. There's nothing for me to do, so I just sat down and kept eating my breakfast.
I thought that I was gonna die and that I should tell my dad, so I told my dad. I ran into his room and then I woke him up.
I was very skeptical that it was actually a true alarm because I didn't get the notifications on my phone, nor my government phone. So I contacted the Emergency Operations Center on base to find out what they knew about it. they were checking their systems because they weren't receiving the same thing, the same warnings and notifications.
I think that we don't have enough plans for every scenario that could happen.
Should something actually happen, something catastrophic happen, Hawaii's not prepared to house, to feed, or to provide shelter to feed folks in the event of a nuclear strike.
Well, this doesn't apply to my family in particular, but I don't think that a lot of people were aware of the different shelters that they had available. So I definitely think that if it was more like promoted, is that the right word? Promoted, then more people would be ready and prepared.
I believe the biggest issue is that if something like this were to happen, that people don't really know what to do. I mean, people were putting children in manholes and they were hiding in the sewers thinking that that would keep them safe, when honestly it's not. And if a missile actually did hit us, we wouldn't really be, and we don't have any way of being safe from it because we don't have the knowledge that we need.
After completing the interviews, I realized that all the interviewees had one thing in common. They didn't know what to do or where to go when the alarm went off. So in conclusion, Hawaii needs to make more shelters in each city to where there is more than enough room. They need to make it to where people can get there in under 10 minutes and where it would have more than enough food and water for 3 weeks for them to survive. Now, some people may say that the U.S. is prepared to shoot down any nuclear missile that passes our defense net. But if a missile was to pass our defense net without us being able to shoot it down, Hawaii would have no way to protect its people from what comes after.